Anyone who is buying with the support took their stops, enticing sellers below the breakout of the support. Type 2 manipulation, buy to sell to buy. These are 3 repricing events. This one's obvious, this one's obvious, this one you have to scale in to see, but for the sake of time, I won't do that. 3 levels, so we're finally coming down into that level now. Hello, fellow traders. Hope you guys are doing really well. Welcome back to another pre-market analysis video here on the TRADINGNUT YouTube channel with Nate from Aerial Effects. As always, we will be highlighting the pairs in red here. These are the pairs that I see setups on, the pairs that I think are relatively pertinent for the upcoming week ahead. All the other pairs I'm not going to discuss just because I really don't see much on them. Nothing is very clear to me, and we'll just have to wait for the week ahead to see if there's any opportunities intra-week. But obviously these are only once a week videos, so I can only go over what I see. So obviously the pairs highlighted in red we will be discussing. I'm going to be going over directional biases, talking about correlation, talking about trade setups, potential opportunities that you guys can be getting into, and the trades that I am likely to place on my own accounts.
Our sponsor Blue Guardian's the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and overtrading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.
Let's first start off by talking about EURCHF. And before I get into this really quick, guys, if you are interested in learning more about smart money concepts from a very simplistic point of view and really resonate with the type of strategy that we go over, feel free to head over to my website, aerialfxtrading.com, and book a free call with me. I'd love to chat with you about your trading journey, how we can best help you go from wherever you are to that consistent profitability level. The call is free. We'll just chat for 10-15 minutes, see if it's the right fit. If it is, we'd love to have you on board. And if not, no worries. We will give you our advice going forward and even provide you with our trading plan absolutely for free. So let's start off by talking about EURCHF. Obviously, we are in an overall uptrend on the lower time frame, overall downtrend on the higher time frame. So what that means is if we are in a higher time frame uptrend, or excuse me, downtrend on the higher time frame, lower time frame uptrend, we need to be looking for some intraday long opportunities, but also need to be looking for where could price potentially reverse. So what I see here is a huge area of imbalance. If I just zoom into this, we can just see this is just straight selling volume. Okay, so this is likely to be filled in momentum, meaning when the momentum in the lower time frame trend is back to the upside, we're likely to go and target those levels. That's what we call the higher time frame objective. So it's also this previous swing point in here, and we can see that this is a lot of buy side liquidity. These equal highs, we will likely run that liquidity into at least that 9,720 level to fill some imbalance and come back up into that level. So with that being said, we still have a lot of room to go. We are currently bullish, making higher highs, higher lows. We are above the 4-hour 50 EMA. We are above the 1-hour 50 EMA here. And what we'll notice on the lower time frame for our more intraday type of trades is we can see the structure, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And look at where that higher low came into, this previous repricing event, that area of demand, also that imbalance. We then made a higher high. We have yet to fully complete a higher low in my opinion, because we can see this as more of a support. This is like a triple bottom, so we have a lot of sell side liquidity. It's also more of a right shoulder, head, left shoulder. So I'd like to see price come down start of next week, take out that sell side liquidity into this demand level, and then make another higher high. So that's another potential opportunity because we have a lot of confluence for the upside. We have sell side liquidity to run. We have this area of demand in here to potentially come into. Same sort of deal. That repricing before the higher high was made is the exact same thing as what we had here, the repricing before the higher high. And that's exactly where we mitigated. High, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, looking for that higher low into that level. So looking for pullbacks to go long potentially into that higher time frame objective. And that's how we can derive our trade setup. Next is AUDCHF. So with AUDCHF, I am a little bit, not necessarily confused, but we're kind of stuck in a range. So it's a little bit tricky at this time. So as we can see here, yes, I would say we're overall bearish, but most importantly, I want to look at this range here. Are we going to pull back and make a higher high, or are we going to pull back and make a lower low? We're kind of stuck in a range. So what could we be potentially doing? Well, if we are to go long, I think that with this current downtrend that we're seeing, I think price should likely come into this 5,680. Why? Because if this is the counter trend, low, high, failed to make a lower low, and then we made a higher high. So really this is the repricing, but I guess you could say that this is the last selling volume right in here before we made that higher high, right? So that would be that level of demand that I think if we are to go long, I think we need to come into this level first. On a lower time frame, we have a couple of potential levels. We had one discussed this morning within our VIP. We had a level of supply here that we came up into, swept buy side liquidity, we swept it and then started to push down. We have relatively equal lows. We had a level of supply here, so I wanted to see a reaction from that level and then the continuation to continue with the trend to make that overall lower low, lower high, lower low sequence on a lower time frame, low high, low high, low high, and so on and so forth. Right, so we're just following the higher time frames, scaling into lower time frames, and finding our areas of interest for our overall trade opportunities. If we are to push higher, which we could likely see, we may push up into this level of supply. This was really that last buying pressure before we started the downtrend here. So could we see an overall pullback like this, right? Overall retracement into that level of supply before continuations into that level? Potentially, right? So we could be splitting up some risk here, maybe going lower risk and placing buy and sell limits and catching a good risk to reward trade. We could wait for confirmation on lower time frames. And what I mean by confirmation is confirmation does not mean that, oh, it's confirmed, you have a 100% chance that it's going to go in the direction. That's not how trading works, right? What I mean by confirmation is maybe seeing something like this, right? And then maybe there's an area of supply right here, and understanding that this could now be the end of the pullback because we've come up into a desired potential supply zone. We've had a reaction, broken counter trend structure, pulled back into a supply that was once maybe demand, right? The supply to demand flip. And then that would be the confirmation on the lower time frame to take it short, meaning there's just a higher probable chance of it working out because we have quote unquote confirmed the reaction from the level. Right, that's what we mean by confirmation. Confirmation doesn't mean 100%. Obviously, you all should know that. It just means, you know, a potential higher probable trade. Right, so looking out for AUDCHF this upcoming week, AUDCAD. I'm liking further upside on AUDCAD. We can see we are in an overall uptrend. We've accumulated in price. We can see that we have made lower lows and lower highs. We're starting to now make higher highs and higher lows. We're starting to bottom out, almost like the bottom of like a soup bowl. Right? They're starting to bottom out, starting to round off, and now we're starting to make higher highs and higher lows. So what I'm looking for are a potential couple of levels. We can see that demand was met, higher high, higher low, came into that selling volume. Higher high, higher low, came into that selling volume. Higher high, higher low, we didn't come into these two levels of selling volume. These are demand levels. So I think that if price were to go like this, this would be valid for entry, because these are unmitigated, and maybe this could act as sell side liquidity, right? Sweep sell side, go long. Or if it wants to follow the overall trend, we could come into this huge imbalance into that last selling volume and maintain the structure, high, low, into that demand, and then higher high. So a couple of levels to look out for, waiting for the pullback. If we get it, great. If we don't, we just have to sit on our hands and wait. All right, so that is AUDCAD. NZDCAD, looking for potential short offs. Similar thing could occur. What we could see is just higher high, higher low, higher high. We fill more of the imbalance next week and then potentially go long and make a higher high. Or we rally to the downside more, which is what I prefer, because what we do have are these equal lows. So if we're lower time frame bearish here, then we could be having an excuse to be looking to sell into that liquidity. And we know that from a higher time frame perspective, this is the structure, higher high, higher low, higher high. So could this just be a higher low for a higher high, an overall pullback, right? Sweeping all the sell side liquidity, just like we had here, swept all this sell side liquidity, overall pullback, higher high, overall pullback, higher high. That's for the higher time frame structure. So that's how we can interpret that from that perspective. So where would that level be in which we could potentially be looking to take profit at any shorts or looking to buy on any longs? Well, we accumulated here. This is the higher high, higher low. higher high. Where is the last selling volume? Well, this was, right? This whole move, we failed to generate a lower low within this pullback. We finally stopped, made the higher high. But if we scale in, we'll see there's a little repricing here, a little bit of an imbalance, straight buying volume. We have sell side liquidity. So anywhere in this general zone would be good for buys, maybe around 0.8 psychological level. So if we get continuations, I would like to be looking to continue to short. We have to be careful because we are still in an overall uptrend. The reason why I was looking for sells this morning was because we made a low, right? But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop and make a lower low again. We could have easily made a higher high, but the fact that we stopped here, failed to come above this higher high, failed to make a higher high, we swept this buy side liquidity into that supply and then made a lower low. I figured, okay, well, this is probably going to be a 1 drive, 2 drive. Now we look for pullbacks for that 3rd drive into the low. So we can see that higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, failed to make a higher high, lower low. That's the supply. That's why we had a beautiful entry this morning. It's that simple. We just need to be applying the concepts correctly and following our trading plan and being disciplined with everything 100% of the time. If you can do that, you will find that your trading is so much more less stressful and so much more easier than it has been before. All right, NZD Swiss franc, couple of potential levels on the 1 hour time frame. You know, we are overall bearish, lower low, lower high. This is a lower low. Could this be a lower high? Potentially. Could we make a lower low now? Maybe. Could we have a little bit more of a pullback, maybe up into this supply zone? Yeah, maybe. But what's interesting is just scaling in. For one, we have equal lows. For two, we had this huge trend line that we broke. So retail is probably going short, right? Because we broke it, retested it, people are trying to go short, then we push right back up to the upside. Take everyone's stop losses above these highs right here, right? Because if everyone's shorting, they're placing their stop above the previous swing point. Also enticing the breakout traders above the resistance level, above the previous high. Once we break it, people are looking for breaks and retests to go long. But then we push right back down within the range, pull back and go short again. So my guess is we're likely now, because we swept everyone out of the market who was buying with this trend line, because we sold off, then we sold off, people started to sell, people put their stops here, we swept everyone out of the market who was selling because it pushed up and took their stops. Now we're going short. I think that the market is likely to continue short now. Take out sell side liquidity here, right? Relatively equal lows. So what I'm thinking, if we scale in, because we can see that we're clearly in a lower time frame downtrend, we have 2 potential levels. We have, this is the last buying volume, right? Because this is the higher high, higher low, failed to make a higher high, right? We stopped, and that's where we started the downtrend. So that's our supply zone. We also have another supply zone right in here. It's not very obvious, but we could sweep and to start the week, buy side liquidity, sweep it, go short, or come up a little bit higher into this level and then go short. So either one of those 2 levels, I'm looking for potential shorts for on NZDCHF. USDCHF, what we've been noticing lately, and I said this in previous videos, is that we have unmitigated levels of demand. So we can see resistance, support. Go and take the resistance. Anyone who is selling with the resistance, right? We're taking their stops, enticing buyers above the breakout. Coming back down, anyone who is buying with the support took their stops, enticing sellers below the breakout of the support. Type 2 manipulation, buy to sell to buy. These are 3 repricing events. This one's obvious, this one's obvious, this one you have to scale in to see, but for the sake of time, I won't do that. 3 levels, so we're finally coming down into that level now. We're coming into the first level. Doesn't mean we're just gonna, if we see a couple of candles, doesn't mean that that's confirmation to just buy. You know, it could be potentially, but we still could come a little bit lower. So all I'm saying is I don't have a setup on this, but I will be looking for potential accumulation to then, if we spring, look for pullbacks to long it because we have huge imbalance move here. All right, so just keep an eye on USD Swiss franc for the upcoming week.
Folks, Black Bull Markets have 10 merch packs to give away to clients who sign up before the end of the year, including one of these trader keys. So to go in the draw, all you need to do is sign up with the link below this video or in the podcast description, and you'll go in the draw to win. It's that simple. And remember, folks, when you sign up to Black Bull Markets through the TRADINGNUT link below, you're going to get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000 on your first deposit. All you need to do is click the link in the description below the video or the podcast.
NZDUSD. NZDUSD, I do believe that we are overall going to make a higher high in the market because, you know, for one, we have equal highs. Two, lower time frame is bullish, high, low, high, low, high, looking for pullbacks to long. But $2 or $3 a week right now. It's very weak. What's interesting is that we finally came into our 2 levels. So congratulations to all of you who took this trade opportunity. We did lose on the first trade, but then we're in massive profit on the second one. So that profit took care of this loss. That's why I don't care about having multiple positions, because what is this trade? Overall profitable. I am in profit. So I'm not crying because I lost this trade, because I know that price could have easily have just come into our first level of demand and moved. And if it did, then I wouldn't be having FOMO if I didn't enter here and only tried to enter here. So I enter both positions. I don't care. I don't care about all the noise. I don't care when the market finally goes. And this was huge. I think no, it wasn't FOMC. It was some sort of news event, maybe CPI or something, or I don't know. That was used as the excuse to go long then, because we finally came into the levels, right? So news was used as the excuse because we finally mitigated those levels to then inject the volatility to go in this overall direction. So congrats who took that. The reason why is because, for one, we accumulated. For two, we stopped making lower lows, lower highs. We started to make higher highs and higher lows. So we're bullish now. But more importantly, resistance, support, exactly what we looked at on the other pair, USDCHF, I believe. It was buy to sell to buy. Everyone is shaken out of the market. Buyers come in, stops taken. Sellers come in, stops taken. Everyone's shaken out. These are our 2 repricings. First one didn't work out. Just so happened that this time it didn't work out. And the second time it did, meaning this level here. The next trade could look exactly like this, and it could easily just react off the first level and go long. But why do we still place the same levels? Because we have to be disciplined and do the exact same thing for every setup. If you are an ounce of undisciplined, or how do I say this? If you have any undisciplined nature in you in trading, if you do anything differently than you did the first time on a previous trade, don't expect the same results, right? Don't expect long-term results. You need to maintain consistency, right? So that's my whole point. This trade would happen again, I would place the same levels. But because this level was hit the first time and not this level, many people will think, oh, in their brain, oh, well, I shouldn't place a buy limit here. I should only place one here. Then it comes into this level here and goes long. And then they're like, crap, I missed out on this move. Now they're placing buys here, and now price is pulling back, and they're getting scared because they got it off of FOMO, and now they're closing here when they shouldn't have because they're scared and they lost money. That's the psychology of the market. That is why people lose money, because they're stupid, because they're emotional and they're immature, right? We're adults here. We need to act maturely and professionally to make money, or else you're not going to. I promise. This is not going to happen. I don't mean to sound rude, but it's just not going to happen for you. If you can't maintain your psychology and manage your emotions, you will not be profitable. Okay? Plain as day. Anyways, we're counter trend bearish here, maintaining our lower time frames, lower lows, lower highs. Supply zone met. Last buying volume, supply zone met. In a little bit of profit right now. You know, if we run higher, that's okay, because why? We're bullish. We're bullish. This could be the end of the pullback. We could easily make a higher high. We have buy side liquidity, these equal highs to run. We have 0.61 to come into that psychological level. But if we get one more push to the downside, that would be nice. That's why I appreciated this level of supply here. Could just been an intraday sell-off. I'm thinking that we'll likely take out Friday's low, which is this low here, maybe fill up some more imbalance, and then just continue long. Right? So overall, I don't really see anything pertinent. But I'm trying to give you a clear understanding of what price is doing, why it's doing it, so that you can make the educational decisions going forward in your trading to be placing trades. I can't just sit here and hand you trade ideas and tell you, oh, buy at this price or sell at this price. You're not going to learn anything, right? So I'm trying to give you informative information and knowledge that you can use and apply to your own trading. So my, overall bias is long. So we need to be looking for buy setups, and do with that as you wish with any strategy that you're using. GBPNZD, same sort of deal here. We're overall bullish, right? I'm looking for buys. I know we have equal lows. However, what we have here are equal highs as well, right? We're making higher highs, higher lows. Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar are weak at the moment, so I am liking further longs, XXX-NZD and XXX-AUD going long. We had internal liquidity here. Highs, lows, swept the highs, made equal highs, came down, swept the lows, so that buy to sell to buy potential. So I'm looking to target these higher highs, or excuse me, these equal highs. So we had that internal liquidity run to the upside, internal liquidity run to the downside. Now we're making higher highs, higher lows. So I think we're finally going to get that move. The probability of us going long is higher than going short, in my opinion. So naturally, I got to look at potential trade opportunities. So with that being said, you know, we have a high, a low, a high, a low here. I think that what we could see is come next week, market opens, we sweep sell side liquidity into maybe that demand level. Maybe it comes a little bit lower into this imbalance. Who knows? One of those two levels, and we start to go long. Something like that could potentially happen. Overall, really what I'm trying to say is I do expect this buy side liquidity to be run at some point. All right, a couple more. GBPUSD, same sort of deal. US dollar is weak at the moment. You know, I would like to see, you know, some deeper pullback, maybe to fill some more of this imbalance. Or what we could do is potentially make a higher high and then go like this. Why? Again, buy side liquidity run, sell side liquidity run, go long, buy to sell to buy. Something like that, who knows? Anyways, I'm just waiting for price to get into discount before I'm looking to buy again. You know, we're making higher highs and higher lows. You know, we're starting to accumulate here. Accumulated again. This failed to generate a lower low below that low, and instead we made a higher high. So what do we do? Well, higher low, we filled this huge imbalance, came into that demand, stopped, accumulated lower time frame, higher high. Again, same sort of deal, huge imbalance, waiting for an overall pullback into that demand, selling volume to go long again. Just following structure, but utilizing supply and demand and smart money concepts along the way. All right, next one, EURGBP, a couple more. What we have to understand about EURGBP, we finally came into our overall objective, right? So within this downtrend, we had this last buying volume, right? Low, high, low, high, low, high, low, failed to make a higher high, a lower low, huge imbalance. So we finally came back up into that. So could we fall and make a lower low? I don't know, maybe. So we have to be careful, but I do believe we probably are to see a little bit of a further upside on this. So maybe deeper up into this huge level of supply, maybe up into here, that mini level of supply here, or maybe fill in balance a little bit more. Maybe 0.88 could be on the card here, psychological level. But really, we're still bullish. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. So maybe an intraday type of trade could be from this level of demand here. We can see that we had sell side liquidity run, overall pullback, higher high, overall pullback, higher high. We could see that overall pullback for another higher high. That's what we could see. So where did the pullback end? Well, that's the last selling volume that failed to generate the lower low before the higher high was made. So if we get a pullback, we could sweep all this sell side liquidity in here, come into that demand, and then go long. So something like that, just following structure. We could see that going forward on EURGBP. Last one, EURNZD. Like I said, XXX-NZD, XXX-AUD is bullish, meaning NZD and Aussie dollar are relatively weak right now. In my opinion, that's just what I'm seeing across the board. EURNZD, is bullish. We are pushing up. We're making higher highs, higher lows. So what we did do here is, again, the same thing, just on a larger time frame, I guess you could say. This resistance or equal highs or just the swing point was taken out with that move. We came back down, swept retail sell side liquidity here. So again, a huge maybe buy to sell to buy. Now I'm looking at taking out this previous high and making a higher high, maybe up into 1.83. All right, so with that being said, I'm gonna zoom in here and be like, okay, well, if we're looking to take out this previous high, in lower time frame and higher time frame, we're bullish, high, low, high, low, high, low. You know, I would like to see some form of, you know, pullback to go long, maybe right there, or deeper to sweep sell side liquidity into this imbalance, maybe into that last selling volume here, maybe around 1.8050, just looking for discounted prices to continue to go long. And again, guys, I'm not gonna be sitting here giving you areas and telling you, here, buy at this price, put your stop loss here, take profit here. Doesn't teach you anything. But what you should do going forward is use this as education, not only learn why the market does what it does, but also take the information and see, okay, here's what Aerial Effects is looking at. Here's why, okay, it makes sense. We did this, we did that. Here's, overall directional bias. Here's where I could potentially be looking for potential, long or short opportunities. Here's just general zones to be looking out for, to keep an eye on throughout the week. That's the point of this video, is so that you can take your strategy. It doesn't have to be smart money, but take your strategy, use the information that I give you, and then make better informed, educated decisions based upon how you trade, and hopefully that helps with profitability. But if you want to learn my exact strategy, step-by-step, A to Z, head over to my website, aerialeffectstrading.com. Book a free call with me. I'd love to talk to you about how we could best help you put together a personalized plan for you, specific to your trading needs. And within our VIP area in Discord, we do provide day-to-day setups, opportunities, and stuff that we're looking for throughout the day. So you're not just going to be getting videos like I'm posting here once a week, but you're going to be getting daily videos. You're going to be getting daily analysis, trade ideas, setups, everything in full depth, full explanations for everything. So guys, I appreciate your time today. I hope you had a better understanding as to how we trade and break down these charts here. I hope you learned something and took value from it. Anyways, we will not be sending out another video until December, because next week is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. I hope you guys spend some time and you're able to spend some time with friends and family over the holidays, being able to take a couple days off and relax. So anyways, guys, have a great rest of your weekend and happy trading going forward. Take care.
Tired of missing trades or spending hours at the charts? Introducing my Robot Builders Club. With our platform, you can build bots in minutes, not weeks, without any coding required. Get lifetime access to my video course, VIP community, and over 40 ready-made robots. Works with MT4 or MT5, and as a bonus, you'll get 3 months access to my robot lab, where we build and test bots on live calls every week. Join the hundreds of traders who are trading smarter, not harder. Click the link in the description to learn more, get the free training, and download a free robot.